Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of The Walking Dead. Oh my goodness, that ending scene. I mean, we all knew Gareth and his bandit of crazies were cannibals, but we never actually saw them eat a human being. In that last scene, when they're eating Bob's leg, oh my God, Gareth is so creepy. And I think one of the reasons why his creepiness works so well is because he just looks like this innocent, run of the mill, average looking guy. Nothing about him looks like a creeper. He doesn't look disheveled. He's not missing any teeth. He just looks like an average guy. And he basically explains it. They're forced into doing this. It's not something that they want to, but it's something that they are going to do. And when Bob looks down and his leg is gone, and he's chomping on it like it's a piece of rotisserie chicken. Oh my God, it is so disturbing. Now, one of the other very important things to note out in this scene when Bob wakes up is the fact that the guy that was in the cabin with Tyrese is still alive. So Tyrese did not kill him, even though he told Carol he did. Tyrese, not very happy with you right now. And I mean, we should have known this because they never showed him die. They just showed him beating him to a pulp, but we never saw his body. So of course he's still alive. Of course he met up with his gang of crazies, and they're the ones who have been following them in the woods. Oh my goodness. So here we are, Rick, Michonne, the bandits, the group. They've all, taken this episode to sort of reconnect a little bit with one another. Rick is saying his apologies to Carol. He appreciates everything she did, saving them from that crazy place and, saving his daughter. But he also feels bad for the fact that he banished her from the prison. And, so he's apologizing for that. Darryl is, looking at Carol, and Carol's basically like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to forget everything happened. I don't even want to think about it. Carol is talking to Tyrese, and Tyrese is basically saying, listen, we'll tell the group what happened, what you did at the prison, and they'll just have to forgive you. But I'm not talking about the little girls. So, there's all these half-truths going on in this episode that people want to tell the truth, but don't really quite want to tell everybody what's really happening. So that scene at the end there, when first Carol is looking at the doorway when they're in the church, and Abraham's giving his big speech about going to Washington, and she's looking at the door because she's obviously in the back of her mind, like she said earlier, let's try to work on this car in case all hell breaks loose at the church and it turns into the crapper so we can get out of here with the quickness. And she doesn't trust anybody. You can tell that, right? So she doesn't trust that everything's going to work out. And I don't blame her. And then you have Bob with his come here, Sasha, let me get another kiss from you, which is obviously a theme that they've been doing throughout this episode. And in the back of my mind is he got bit. Something happened when he got pulled under that water when they were at the food bank, and there's something up with him because he kisses her and then he like holds her hand as she walks away. He gets up, he starts walking towards the door. He's standing outside, he's smiling like this is the last time he's going to see these people, and then he starts crying by the tree. What's all that about? So is he bitten? Are these guys eating a half zombie leg that they just don't even realize because he didn't die? What is up with that? Wouldn't that be awesome if these guys eat him and then they get like some bacterial disease in them because he's half zombie? I don't know. But all I know is that ending was cray. We had a lot of stuff with Rick in this episode where, he doesn't trust the Reverend Gabriel. I don't blame him because he's been in this church. Nobody's technically gotten in. He's had all this food. Why? How has he survived all this time? Good question. We see carvings on the wall outside that says you'll burn for this. What's all that about? We notice at the end there when he's holding up the picture and he's looking at, it's him and this woman wearing glasses, and that was the woman that he saw in the church or in the food bank that was trying to come after him, and he was freaking out and he ran away and held himself up into the corner, and Rick basically saved his life. So lots of stuff going on with Gabriel that we don't quite know about, which is fair enough because he's just been introduced to the show. I do like the fact that we're seeing a lot of people from The Wire on The Walking Dead. They know good actors when they see them, so that's good to see. Now, what I thought was interesting at the beginning of the episode was when Abraham was talking to Rosita. Is that how you say her name? And he says, right there is why they will wait for their moment. And this is right after Michonne is bashing in a walker's head. And it was interesting. She was like, yeah, fair enough. And so obviously they have something that they want to say, and they're just waiting for that right moment because they don't want the reaction to be a bad reaction. And obviously, I believe this is the speech that Abraham gives when they're all in the church. He first gives a toast to the heroes and the survivors, and then he turns it and says, is that all you guys want to be, is survivors? Waking up every day, killing zombies, finding rations, going to sleep, doing it all over again? Or do we all not want to try to get to Washington and find this cure that Eugene claims he can find? And so after that heartfelt conversation, Rick, who is the leader, and they've all basically said, we will do whatever Rick tells us, says, all right, we're going to go. And then that, like right after that moment is when Bob kisses Sasha, and then he goes outside, and Carol hightails it out of there too. So I don't know if Carol's just basically like, I'm not going down with this plan. Because even Darryl, when he shows up to see like what's going on, she's like, I don't even know what I'm doing out here. She's in the dark, just trying to fix a car. And, you know, hello, you're in zombie land, girl, get inside. But what was very interesting about that scene is as they're out there and they're talking by the car, we see another car zoom by. And Darryl looks at the back of the window and he sees a cross. And this is the same car that took Beth back in season 4. So he smashes out the taillights of the car, and him and Carol get in the car. She's like, what's going on? He's like, those are the people that took Beth. So Daryl's off and running. Bob's got half a leg missing. The rest of them are all in this church thinking that, you know, they've found a nice place of sanctuary when Gareth and his group of crazies are just outside waiting for them, pretty much. Oh my God. It was a very quiet episode up until those last few minutes. And those last few minutes were crazy. I also like that Tara finally spoke with Maggie and let her know that she was at the prison when her father died. And, you know, she didn't want it to be found out in another way that she was there. And obviously, Maggie was part of the what's his name and his crazy crew, and they're the ones who killed Maggie's father, so the governor. So you know that conversation needed to happen, and I'm glad it's out of the way. I also like the conversation that Rick had with Michonne when he was asking her if she missed her sword, and I'm like, where did her sword go? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, those crazy cannibals took it, and basically her reaction was, she's fine with it. She only got it because of where they were in the situation that they were in. It's not really a part of her. It's part of the situation that she was dealt with. And she said that she is fine without it. And she doesn't miss it. And I thought that was interesting. She said that's part of her old life. And she mentioned that she missed Andrea and she missed Maggie's father. Can't remember his name. Sorry. And that part of her life is what she likes to remember. But the stuff with the sword is part of her past, and she doesn't want to go back there. So I thought that was a very interesting conversation. Michonne hasn't really had much to do in these last couple of episodes, but I'm hoping that tide will turn. Good episode. Oh, man. What are they going to do with the rest of Bob? Not good. And what is up with Bob? Why was he crying by the tree? I feel like he got bit. I feel something happened when he got pulled under the water and he just couldn't tell them yet. And in that moment, he was going to kill himself or he was going to do something. And then these crazies got a hold of him. Oh my God. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Good episode. And I'll see you next week. Bye.